This is the Crone
and The Crow.
And you're listening to Bonus Overdrive Wednesday. Hey, do you have an idea about a cryptid tale, a cryptid story? We want to incorporate that into one of our songs. So we're challenging you to come up with some ideas. Make sure that you comment on our page and say that you heard about this from Diego the Podcaster. And then stay tuned. Your idea gets into our song.
Warning. The following program may contain material not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Flight of ducks unknown, our voice begins to rise, breaking through the noise with fire in its eyes. The spirit of adventure burning ever bright. Hold on tight, travelers, it's gonna be alright. Another week burning, halfway to the end. Bonus overdrive, attend the tears ascend. Bonus overdrive, Wednesday night is here. Shatter the silence, conquer all your fear. Bonus overdrive, the angels gonna scream. With Diego at the wheel, living out a dream.
It's time to find out with Diego. Let's go. Ooh, yeah.
On this episode of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, they began in the humid, feverish swamps of Florida, a two-person conjuration that made a dark pact between a mesmerizing force of performance and a gifted multi-instrumentalist. Then, a sound was born. But what they brewed was too potent to be contained, so their journey has led them back to the fog-kissed homelands of Virginia. Here, a powerful spell was cast, not for solitude, but to call in the rest of the flock, a summoning that brought forth a full band of beautifully strange creatures. All this plus more. Please welcome our new friends and first-time guests. They are the Crone and The Crow. Friends, welcome to Bonus Overdrive Wednesday.
We are so happy to be able to join you in this Bonus Overdrive Wednesday. Thank you for having the Crone and the Crow on.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, absolutely. In fact, Crone, we talked about earlier in the pre-interview, we met not long ago, earlier this year. I want to say it was either in Berryville, Virginia, or in Hagerstown, Maryland, at one of the Snarly Yow events. And you came over to the table, we struck up a conversation, we're like, I got to get you on the show.
Yes, we crawled through the mountains and we heard about cryptids all joining forces at a carnival and said we must go. And it was great to meet you and all the other artists and wonderful cryptid art and novels and books and makers. So we felt like this is our world. We belong with this crew of people here. So thank you for acknowledging and seeing that and inviting us in.
Yeah, and it was really cool to see the whole community come together and like all the different artists and vendors that were there, and it's really cool that this is this whole underground thing of cryptid love, and it's pretty awesome.
It is, because you see people from all walks of life. Everybody looks different, and we're not all the same, but we all have this love of the mysteries and creatures, cryptids, paranormal, and we're all one big happy family, as they say. And then, but now for the listeners of Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, I forgot to do this. I don't know why I didn't do it. Can you let us know? Can you introduce yourselves and what you do in the band?
I am the Crone, aka Tammy Ruggiero, and I am a vocalist in the band, and I help with some of the songwriting as far as the lyrics and the storytelling. And I would consider myself the art director. So anything that is visual, anything that has a story, usually begins with me, and I help develop that. Not to say that other people don't weigh into the storyline, but I just help streamline all the different parts to one cohesive show.
And I am the Crow. I'm Rafe. I play many different instruments in the band. I play bass guitar, I play banjo, and I play acoustic guitar. I'm pretty much the band, I would say, hate to use that term, but I focus mostly on the music and making sure that the songs are arranged properly and that all the instrumentation is arranged properly. I try to like work with the band to make sure that all the songs are up to snuff. And so pretty much I'm almost like a band leader in a way.
Yeah, and a composer in certain ways.
A composer, yes.
Mhm.
So it's a multi-layered effort here because, I'll tell you, I grew up in the days back when, and I'm showing my age. So I'm going to say the days of, and I hate using this term shock rock, but back then it was more performance-based rock and roll.
Mhm.
I grew up with the Alice Coopers, the Wasp, Twisted Sister, Kiss, Motley, and then Dio had his own thing with it, and Maiden had a great stage show. So you both do. It's more than just music. You're putting out there an experience for people to take in when they come see the show.
Absolutely. And Diego, you were like naming every band that I grew up listening to and loving. I mean, that's pretty much, Kiss was the reason that I started playing music. I mean, I saw Kiss when I was about 8 years old. So I'm talking about dating yourself. That was dating myself there. I saw them as a very young child, and that was the first band I got into. And that was the reason that I started playing music. And throughout the years, I had played in several bands, but never had like a real show. And I've always kind of wanted a show. So, when I kind of stopped playing in a bunch of cover bands and a bunch of different bands that I was in, I was involved in a thrash band for a little while. I was in a rock, almost like a new metal band for a little bit. And then I was in a cover band for many, many years. We played clubs every night. Every weekend we would play clubs. And I got to the point where it's like, you're playing these clubs and it's like not a lot of people are paying attention to you. So when I stopped doing that and started talking with the Crone over here, Tammy, I said, you know what? If we do something, let's do something visual, because I know how visual she is with her art and all the artistic thing. And I figured she's the best person that would do that because she could come up with some really great concepts for the band. And I really wanted it to be more than just playing music. I wanted it to be a show on top of that. And so we had long discussions about that and said, look, we just don't want to go up there and have people looking at their cell phones, not paying any attention to us. We want people to look at us and want them to pay attention to us. So that was the reason.
And based on that, just to jump on that, we have been in music and art scenes for decades. So we've seen it all. We've been at every open mic, and, it's painful sometimes out there to have to sit through, even when you're great. If you don't project in a certain way, you lose attention. It's not about being good, but we have great musicians that have long histories of being in established music scenes that everybody wants in their band. So we bring it on the music end. And when I come in with the visual, it has made all the difference in the world, because I did not want to sit through something that I wouldn't want to go back to. So I always tell people, you may or may not like our sound, which is a little bit diverse because we have people from different musical backgrounds, and we incorporate, and we have a lot of loves in music. So we make it our own sound, but you will hear a lot of different scenes in our music. But it all comes together with this visual element. And I say, you may or may not like the sound, but the two things you will never deny, because we're really about the live show, not the recordings and everything. Like, it's a totally different world. When you come to our live show, you will not be bored, and I will give you a money back guarantee. Anybody that comes to our show is bored, let's have a talk about that, because I don't see how you could be. Second is, I run around like a deranged lunatic, but the band is solid, or else nobody would have me back. They'd be like, okay, the weird lady was here. That was fun that time, but we have people that come again and again. Our shows are interactive. It's kind of like gothic Appalachian rock with like touches of psychobilly, mixed with Rocky Horror Picture Show kind of vibes. Like, we have things that you get when you arrive at our shows and you use. So we don't want to play out you. We want to be together. Just like we were talking about coming to the Cryptid Carnival and seeing community. We are trying to build community. And so we want an immersive experience. And we even have part of one of our show elements that we do seasonally is an underworld cabaret. So we introduce other artists, and usually they're very unusual, things you might not have seen before. We've had Julieta, who does a crow puppet comedy show. We have a clown that does an escape act. We have, and these are all people that come in at different times. Like it's not all the same people at every show. We have drag at our shows, but not even just regular drag. We have drag that is not even what you would know as drag. It's so much off into like performance art that it's really cool. And we even have clowns. So that's not every show. We don't need to have that at every show, but we are trying to build a community that is visual, immersive, and wraps around into all the worlds. We just did an art show. It's called Ritual and Ruin. We had everyone bring their art from the community that wanted to translate that into whatever it made sense to them. We had a local author that does horror books and is also a musician. He came and played and talked about his books. And then we did a big show at the art gallery. So we try to like take this into places that you don't typically have it. Mm-hmm. And we started in Florida. Rafe is the musician. Mm-hmm. I was a visual artist and a theater person for many years. Mm-hmm. And it was I'll let you ask the questions here, but it's an interesting story how it got started. So, but I'll over talk. So I'm going to give it back to you.
That's fine, because you kind of beat me to the punch on that one. I was going to ask you, we're talking about the history of how this began. It began in Florida. Mm-hmm. And then
so we're from here.
Uh-huh.
And we moved to Florida for 5 years. And a lot of crazy shit went down there. It's a crazy place in a lot of ways. There's a lot of experiences we had from so many different directions. And then a dark tragedy also occurred. And so in all of this, I did not play music before then. Mm-hmm. But, and this is where I say the arts is so powerful and life-saving, you know, every form of it, including wrestling and writing and all these other things. Mm-hmm. But, and we wanted a way to cope during that time where we isolated within ourselves. We didn't feel safe in the larger world. I mean, it was just so many things happening, and to process this dark stuff. And on the set, not set, but on the scene of something horrific that had happened that I came to take care of and take care of the people, I was introduced to a song. And, you know, when you put on Spotify and it shuffles and you get to hear other artists along that same line, it opened a whole world into this like folk punk dark world of Amigo the Devil, Bridge City Sinners, the Dead South, this like dark comedy storytelling world. And it grabbed me, and we used to go to an event and host where people could jam even if they didn't have music experience at a conference. And sometimes there was downtime between that. So I just said to Rafe, let's do one song there for fun while we're wasting time, which was Hell in You by Amigo the Devil. Mm-hmm. And it just opened up a whole world of music and expression that we saw ourselves working together on, which we hadn't even thought of it before.
Yeah. So when I got down to Florida, I jumped into bands. I was kind of like a side man. My main instrument is bass guitar. So I jumped in on a lot of side bands, and I started to play in a reggae band for a bit, and I was doing reggae gigs. And then I started doing Southern rock gigs. And then I actually got a gig with an Elvis impersonator at a dinner theater, which was a pretty rad time.
Love it. Love it.
It was way wilder than you would have thought. Wow.
And then right after that, COVID hit, and like the band thing kind of like all like getting the gigs started slowing down. And I kind of was getting discouraged at that point because it was more like I was kind of going through the routine of things. And, playing, and it was great playing in front of a bunch of people and playing this way. But a lot of the times it just wasn't like, I didn't feel like we were captivating audiences. And so when Tammy's like, hey, let's give this a try, I really was looking for something different to do. I wanted to get out of this realm of trying to just be in like this cover band that played everything perfectly and entertain people. And I wanted to kind of pivot into something else. And she introduced that music to me, and I was like, you know what? I really need to stretch my mind. I'm going to start playing different instruments and kind of going in a different direction. So, it's really her that got me into going into this other direction and going down this folk punk, murder folk type of vibe. And I was like, well, it's got some heavy metal elements to it, which I love. And it's challenging me musically to push myself into a different direction. And when she suggested it, for some reason, it just really clicked with me. And we just started just like having fun and playing these covers and kind of like trying to rearrange them and make them our own vibe. And that's kind of how the Crone and the Crow started. And then I started getting some ideas for music. So I wrote a couple songs, and we got a couple songs on. One of those
Can we
songs,
talk the alligator.
yeah, one of those songs is Alligators Lurking, that we're getting ready to record and release here pretty soon. And it was so that kind of got the ball rolling, and it's like, and getting me into this thing. And then she's like, hey, yeah, we never really thought we were going to go out and do anything with it.
We thought we were going to embarrass our son busking down in Winchester.
Yeah.
And that would be it.
Yeah.
But people are here for it, and it's escalated way past folk punk. We have a full band. We have the whole stage show. It's just gotten so dramatic, and it happened organically, which is why we're behind as far as like recording and having merch, because our live show took off so fast that that's all we've been focused on. And we kind of liked that. People showed up without ever hearing us, just out of word of mouth. And it was just kind of this fun thing where we could like surprise them without them knowing what was going to happen. But now there's too many pictures out there. So people kind of have an idea. But yes, and the song we wrote, Alligators Lurking, which we did record, but now we have a full band, so we want to put them on, is about a time-traveling woman whose portal broke down in Florida in this era of just chaos, because Florida has been very chaotic since COVID, in a lot of ways, politically, weather-like, crime-like, murder-like. There were so many things. I had a lot of wild things happen just on the property I lived on. It had 2 burial grounds on top of each other, which I didn't know until the last month I lived there. Explains a whole lot of what was going on there. So there was all these things. So that song came from that. And actually people know it, even though it's not recorded, can come and sing it. But it's just like taking these elements of real emotions and feelings and then bringing a supernatural or a thing like time travel or a snarly yowl. But yet there's a lot of real feelings or a real vibe there.
Now, with the experience in Florida, you came back to Virginia. So what called you back to Virginia?
Appalachian, this is my land. I am the crone. This is my soil. My energy and power is here. And I did not want to die there. It was not my land. You start to learn like you're a part of a land and it's part of you, including all the spirits, cryptids, whatever. Like even when I go past places where my father died, for example, I am so thankful to be able to drive past that spot because I don't want to be disconnected to any of it. I felt very disconnected. I'm really into human rights. Florida wasn't great for that at the time. The weather was just making me ill, and it just started to be a lot of danger in wild ways. Like, for example, the neighborhood I lived in, the nice pier that we love to walk along while we were finding bodies. There was bodies found there, at least 3 in 6 months, and I'm a pretty badass lady. I'll cut you. You don't fuck with me. Okay. I don't know if you can cuss on your thing. Just edit that out. But so it takes a lot to shake me. But at the end of that, I was just like, so many things from different, not even one thing, had happened that I was like everything. And then I found out I was on 2 burial grounds, the Tamaquen, which I'm saying wrong, indigenous people in Florida, and a historical African-American cemetery, both on top of each other, then my house.
Yep.
Stuff that was going on was so wild, and then there's the climate of the dissension and all that. You can take that out too, but I'm just telling you the truth. I can't stand that dude. He was making life tough. Around COVID, everything just went nuts, and then, there was a mass shooting 3 miles from my house. It was like, give me any reason to leave a place, and it was happening there. And I just said, we left everything. We left all our money, our affordable, nice, beautiful house. But I have no regrets. I want to be here in these woods, in this land, with these people here.
Yeah, it's our home. I mean, we it's like being Dorothy. There's no place like home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really came down to that. And like getting back here, it's almost like we settled in and we felt comfortable. And then we reconnected with our friends. And I've had a longtime friend that I've always played music with, who's now in the band.
Yeah.
He was in the Daycare Swindlers, which was a pretty big punk punk ska band back in the early day. And I've always connected with him musically, and we've always been on the same wavelength. And when we got this band going, I said, you know what, I got to get him in this band. Let's get some things going. And
yeah, because we were all in a mass theater troupe out here in these parts before we left. So there, it had an orchestra of music, and then we performed in masks to them, narrating us and doing the music. So some of them were part of that. And we just have amazing band members. I mean, it's a sacred kind of space to create together and do all this together. They're just good, solid people, and they let me just be me. And it worked out coming back here.
And they're excellent creative musicians. So it's like when you can get the creativity side of musicians as well as the playability of a musician, it's really great. And we've in a short period of time, we've gotten a lot of good chemistry, and we've come out with some good stuff and really gelled together as a band really well. So it's been very surprising.
Yeah,
actually.
it's been good. Too good to be true. Rafe's always waiting for the next shoe to drop on it.
Well, hopefully this time the shoe won't drop. Well, since you talk so highly about the rest of your bandmates, who are they, and what do they do in the band?
Sure. We've got the caretaker, which is Mike, and Mike plays guitar. He plays bass, and he plays keyboards. So he's very versatile in what he does. And then we've got Guthead, which is Mark. Mark is pretty much our lead guitar. We call him the sprinkles on top of the sundae, because whenever we lay down the core of something, he always puts something brilliant over the top of it and really makes it sound good. And then our drummer, Chris, which is the Revenant, he is a multiple instrumentalist. He plays a lot of different instruments, and he's got a lot of different bands, but just a super, super talented guy. And he just seems to have a good chemistry with us. And he's just been working out really well with rocking out with us playing the drums. And it's been a fun experience so far.
Yes. And then we have people that come in. We have Celia Cooley that sometimes plays drums, or plays as one of my swamp witches. That is a backup vocalist. We have Cynthia Garrett that will come and do backup vocals. Every now and then the shaman Casey might come in with his harmonica. He played drums for one gig with us. We kind of have revolving drummers. Chris is our solid go-to, but he's in other bands and he has other instruments. So we he just loves music. So wherever we need to put him, we can, and we can depend on him. Like, he will do it and do it well, no matter what it is. So we're very lucky to have people that can play different things and play different roles. Yeah. Except for me, I don't really play anything but a washboard tie. And every now and then I'll torch you with the tongue drum.
So now I got to go to the show. Now, when we're talking about summoning the flock, the first thing that comes to mind is Raven and the flock back in the WCW days. And he always picked out his folks. So what kind of qualities were you looking for in a band member?
Really, I mean, it's personality, getting along, kind of like, and that's really what it comes down to. Because there's a lot of great players out there, but if you don't really get along with them and have this certain kind of musical chemistry with them, it doesn't really work. So the good part about with us is that the fact that I've known Mike for so long and have played music with him for so long, even when we were at a distance, he was here and I was down in Florida, we were still exchanging, files and doing videos with one another and playing. And so that really, was one of the factors that makes it a really solidified band, because him and I, we know each other, and we've known each other for a while. And so when that came together, it was just trying to find those other pieces that would fit in, and we were able to do that. So, I mean, especially when it came to Mark, before I had left, I had just met Mark before I had left Guthead, and played with him a couple of times and like really recognized just how talented he really was. And I just knew that he was a really good player. And by some fluke, like the first couple months that we were here, I think even the first month we were here, I just ran into him randomly at another show. And I was like, oh man, I hadn't seen him in so long. And then, so I always had him in the back of my mind. And then we started seeing him play with Celia, which is his daughter. And they started playing music. And I'm like, you know what? He would be great for this band. Let's see what we can pull in. And I said, and so would Celia, because she was playing drums with us for a while. And I said, let's see how this works. And then it just worked really well. So the chemistry was there. So it's just really of a matter of, just hanging out with people and and learning the language with one another, the music language with one another.
But for me, it's you have to be a good person. Like, you have to be open. You cannot be like a racist or anything like that. You don't know where I'm going to bring you. You have to be okay with it all, because you'll be, in situations, shows, groups that maybe you haven't experienced before, and you just need to be open and cool and laid back. And you can't it's hard sometimes when you're a strong female presenting front person. So men don't always like that, depending on what their history is of having like a real woman that really knows what they want and is equal player. And that's a requirement, unfortunately, still to this day. And then also, if I'm the only female in the band most of the time, but then some of our show is risque, and I have to make sure that their situations are okay with that as well. So you have to be on your toes, be laid back, be open, and be kind, really. And have a little bit of creativity, or at least understand the whys of what I'm doing, because it gets weird. So you have to be able to embrace the weird.
And while I was doing a little bit of research on the band a few days ago, I came upon, I think, an older poster of different locations where you guys have played. It has either been a very long time since a band quite like yours has been around, or they've never seen an act quite like yours. Touching from an earlier conversation we had on this episode, how has the reaction been so far? Because you guys are really, I'm saying this respectfully, you're really out there. You're really bringing something that people may not have ever seen in their lives, not even 10 feet in front of them.
It's been amazing. Like, I thought there would be more dirty looks, there'd be more people going, and instead, and this is from all ages and all backgrounds, by the way. It's like people you wouldn't expect that are super religious, because I sometimes have a satanic harness on. It gets devilish and witchy in a very fun theatrical way, but that's not for everyone. And I get that and I respect that. But I've been shocked at the people from all ages. I have from 19 to 72-year-olds that are here for it. And I have been the most shocked of that, because I started out knowing I wasn't going to be all things to all people. I accepted that. I understand who I am and how I'm coming across, but I wanted to do what I wanted to do and not just have broad appeal. We're having fun for ourselves. That's all I want to do. And the fact that so many people have been here for it, not to mention, I'm a 52-year-old woman, and a front woman. And, I am busting down this age limit shit. Like, that's been the greatest thing. I mean, especially women love it. They love to see me out there. They love the way that I present myself out there. And I haven't had really any creepy guys. Like, I mean, it's been so wonderful that I can't even believe it, that everybody loves it. And I'm
They're there for it,
very
for sure.
shocked.
I've been extremely shocked at how well people have received everything and how they really, really love the show. We have some fans that travel an hour to come see us, and we're a local band, and it's amazing. They'll travel an hour to come see us no matter where we're playing. Yeah, it's amazing.
I can't believe it.
And just the other day, we were at the mall here, and we were in
This is why I have to be in character all the time.
We were in Bath and Body Works, and we're checking out, and the girl, Tammy, notices, and go ahead, Tammy, tell her the story.
Well, she started looking at me really sheepishly, and she's like, "Are you in a band?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm the Crone." And she's like, "Oh my," she started fangirling out. I wasn't sure if I should. Listen, we are in a small town. We're over here in Strasbourg and Front Royal, Winchester. I did not expect that, especially, she definitely looked really young.
She was young.
Like, she was probably like 22 or 23 years old.
Yeah.
And they love it. They love it. And that makes me happy, because that's an equal exchange of energy. I get to have fun doing it, and you get to have fun enjoying it. And that is all, like, my dreams have already come true.
Yeah. And like, one of our fans came up to us and he said, I go and see bands all the time, and your show was in the top 5 I've ever seen. And I was like, are you sure about that?
Yeah, we're like,
I literally was like, are you sure? I go, there's a lot of great bands. I mean, Slipknot puts on a really good show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's like, no, he goes, you guys were just so riveting. I just loved it so much. I connected with it so much. So it's been a great experience. It's beyond what I ever expected it to be really be honest with you. I just expected us to play a couple gigs here and there and nothing to really come of it. And people are like, oh, these guys are out of their minds and they're acting crazy.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
But I mean, it's really building a buzz that I think is going to start really picking up once we really get out there and get our everything together. It's like we're still and the good part about it is we're still in a very infant stage of the band. We're still young as in the sense of the band hasn't played together for a long time. You know, like some bands play 10, 15 years and they go out and do this. Us, we've only been together for maybe fully a year. And so we're still kind of getting the gel that it's still kind of coming together and gelling. So I think it's going to just get better from here on out. And we're very excited about it. And now with the shows that we've done and the experiences that we've had, we're kind of refining things and figuring out what's good and what's not good and what we can put together and what we can present a little bit more to people. So it's really working out well.
And even our originals, I mean, let's be honest. We go to see a band. We've never heard their song. We're not that into it the first time. We need to like get to know it a little. I cannot believe the response we've had on our originals. Like, I can't believe it. Like, and I think it's really because there is so much thought put into not boring people, but to be still true and make good music. Not just novelty music. Yeah. So we sound very novelty, but when you come to hear the music, you're actually surprised. It's not a joke. Like everybody's good at what they do. I'm the newest one to music. They are all professionals. Rafe is classically trained, you know, like, but we're also sucking at new things, although we're not sucking at it because then I started doing vocals and he started doing banjo, which is completely out of our realm. We could have coasted on the stuff we did really well. And so like, I'm no Mariah Carey. I'm more of a character singer, but I do the best with what I have and I keep developing it. And it's been really fun and people are here for it. So I'm just very grateful because this is such a, and even with what you do too, it's like, it's about us, not you know, it's like, you know, I bet you just love it when you run into people and like I've been looking at some of your episodes. So cool. So interesting. And it's like, you know, it's great. This is what the world needs. It needs more interesting things, conversations, and a show is a conversation to me. I am not playing at someone. I want everyone involved. I have a wireless mic. I'm more in the audience than I'm ever on stage. And luckily everyone on stage looks cool when I'm not there. So,
you know, no, you guys definitely do look cool. And that's one of the things, touching on something you said a few minutes ago. The band didn't just start playing music and just start doing the music. And then along the way, the gimmicks started and the visuals. You guys did the multi-layered entertainment package right off the bat. And I think that's probably what kind of sets you apart from those, like you say, have been around for 10 or 15 years. Because some of them, now that's a bad thing, is they'll give you a show, but then you're giving them a capital A show. Big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
And that's what we want. We want people like, if they're going to come in there, money's tight these days. If they're going to have to like pay a cover charge, or they're going to have, you know, they're going to patronize our the places that we play, buy some beers there. You know, we want
time is expensive.
Yeah. I mean, and your time is expensive. I mean, people do a lot of different things. There's a lot of different choices. We want to make sure that when they get there, we're giving them everything that we can possibly give them to entertain them.
Yes.
That's really all it is, you know, because it's like I could sit here and play some classical music in front of people and it's not going to be as exciting as putting this whole package together, getting the audience involved. I mean, Tammy draws these people in to where they participate in the band, where they're part of the band.
Sometimes you get murdered.
Some people get murdered. But I mean, that's what we want. We want people to be like, wow, I had so much fun there. They got me involved and it was just really cool. And that's really, and it was like, it was worth every $10 I spent, or it was worth the $20 I spent on beers that night. Cause it was just awesome.
Yes.
And so that's what we want. That's the goal. It's like we're not trying to prove anything else, but we want to entertain you because we've seen so many bands not entertain enough. And that's what we're going for.
Yeah, I think that it's everything cycles back to now we're getting shows, stage performances, fun is interactive as well. And talking about Strasbourg, I like Strasbourg. You're not too far from
We
me.
live in Strasbourg.
I like going. See, I love that well, he moved the store. He has a Wu-Tang flag. Strasbourg's little flea market that was there. There's another huge flea market. I take my mother there all the time. I don't know. I love flea
The
markets.
Emporium.
Strasbourg's. I
Yeah.
start there first. The Emporium.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. Strasbourg is cool. We've been I had some work here at one point a long time
We
ago,
don't need to go into
and then now we're back in Strasbourg and we really like it here. It's like a cool little small town. So
all these small towns are cool.
Mhm.
All of them are. I would live in any one of them surrounding it, but there's a lot of inspiration here. Both as I'm also a visual artist and I teach art, but as writing songs, like with the Snarly Yow song, in the song we mention a lot of these towns. So we try to make it local so that everybody here can feel some pride and fun about all of these places here. And that's why I did research for a local cryptid so that we could make it more about us and our community and have it be relevant.
Excellent. That's the art coming into everything. And I love everything that you're doing. Now, for the listeners who might just now be discovering your band, where can they learn about your music, your coming up shows, and how can they connect with you online?
So the best way is just really right now on the Facebook page, the Crone and Crow Band. And we just did a little mini tour. And so we're all just relaxing from the mini tour and writing and putting everything else because we don't have everything recorded. We only have one song up and we have a bunch like half ready to go. And so now we're making a full album. So we are going to chill this winter, but we are going to be making content like little TikToks, little reels, and little like things that we record in the studio so that people can have special little things, keep up with what's going on. We might randomly show up at open mic. I've never done one before. But just to, assault people without them knowing and doing so. Well, we need people just to pay attention to the Facebook page and to see where we're going to be and when. And then we're going to have a big record release party in the spring. And so right now it's just about getting the music recorded and out there. So we do have the Snarly Yow song up on all kinds of platforms.
Every platform. You can get it on iTunes. You can get it on Spotify. Everywhere you can get music, the Crone and the Crow is on there, and it's called Snarly Stomp, the Snarly Stomp.
And there's a dance that goes this song, and I have to say that now because you don't know that when you listen to it. And that's been one of the most joyful things that have occurred in my whole life is that I put this little dance in there, and it doesn't have complicated choreography. Anybody could do it. It's stomp, stomp, claws, paws, squeeze, squeeze, shake. And people have been doing it at our shows. And we had a Snarly Stomp contest on Halloween. And it is amazing that people will do it. Because you don't know when you write this song, like people are like, okay, what kind of weird stuff are they doing now? And like people do it at our shows. And it's just another way to have fun and be interactive. Mm-hmm. So just know when you hear the song, when you hear the stomp, stomp, claws, paws, squeeze, squeeze, shake, that's an actual physical dance. That there's a video on the Crone and Crow of me doing it. So to show everyone. Mm-hmm. So just know that's in there.
Awesome. And this is my favorite part of the show where we're actually going to play that song towards the end of this episode. You've explained it so well with the Snarly Stomp, and we're going to play it right here, right now on Bonus Overdrive Wednesday, the Crone and the Crow.
From the hollows of Royal to the hills of Mount Jackson. Something wicked this way's happening. We're gleaming in a full moon haze. Eyes like embers in the Shenandoah blaze. Fakes flashing, fainting for a kiss. I'm running, baby, straight into the moon till the morning bites. Snarly, I'll squeeze, oh that grip. Claws on my hips and a blood red lip. Snarly, I'll love, strange but true. Got me dripping like Shin Valley dew. Stomp, stomp, cross, cross, squeeze, squeeze, shake. 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 Ooh, snarly, squeeze me slow. Ooh, I love how those red eyes glow. Strasbourg shadows, backseat thrill. Snarly guy, I need to kill the lights. I keep coming back for that monster bite. Now down in the valley we ride all night. Snarly, I'll squeeze, ooh that grip. Claws on my hips and a blood red lip. Snarly, I'll love, strange but true. Got me dripping like Shin Valley dew. Stomp, stomp, cross, cross, squeeze, squeeze, shake. Stomp, stomp, cross, cross, squeeze, squeeze, shake. You scared? Not yet. You want? You bet. You running? Better move. You hiss? Confused. Ghostly vibes with red eyes. Sends a tingle up my thighs. Stomp, stomp, cross, cross, squeeze, squeeze, shake. Stomp, stomp, cross, cross, squeeze, squeeze, shake. Stomp, stomp.
All content on this broadcast is a property of Diego the Podcaster and is served directly from our servers with no modification, redirects, or rehosting. All celebrity impersonators are paid performers. The impersonated celebrities do not endorse or promote any views or opinions expressed by our guests, Diego the Podcaster, or Bonus Overdrive Wednesday. The information shared on Bonus Overdrive Wednesday is provided on an as-is basis, with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness.